Barcelona face Almeria for the first time since April 2015, having won all the 8 games in the last decade, I think. Comfortably topples them with a 2-0 victory. Welcome to the Barça podcast. We are Shubham and Aniket, but today we're not going to start with the game. We're going to start with something deeper, something more emotional, what happened in this week and moreover yesterday. Aniket, what a shock.
So, cheers for everyone. Cheers to everyone for the win. But let us start this podcast with giving our biggest and emotional departure to one of the Barcelona's legend, Gerard Piqué. It was his last game on Saturday, and what happened throughout this week was literally amazing. I saw his retiring video, and it gives me chills all over my body when I was watching that video. The video actually made me emotional, and I'm sure that each and every Barcelona fan was emotional after seeing that video. So, cheers to PK, cheers to Barcelona, one of the greatest defenders in Barcelona's history. Uh, Probably he won all all the things which one could do in their professional careers. So, cheers to PK, and yeah, man, a legend retiring.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, he won, La Ligas, Copa del Reyes, Champions Leagues, um,
World Cup
like
with
Super
Spain.
Copa, World Cup, indeed, for Spain, Euros for
Yeah,
Spain, like those Confederation Cup, I presume, those World Club Cups as well. So, I mean, literally, you name a trophy, and he has had his hands on the trophy. Of course, he has, had a lot of ups and downs in his career, mostly ups, in the beginning of his career, coming from Manchester United, a La Masia grown boy coming back to start for the first team of Barcelona, a dream for every single youngster who plays there at La Masia. Um, and especially all those classicos and his fifth goal indicating his palm, like to all the fans. Man, what a career he has had, and I think since last like a few good seasons, in fact, he was much past his prime, and I think he was not good, or he was not seeming very comfortable, or actually good or fast, because when we talk about Barcelona
yeah,
defense, Aniket, we have talked
yeah,
this like a million times that you have to play a high line, and but you have to come back as fast as possible, especially when it comes to like counter attacking by
yeah.
players like Mbappe. And we have like that picture has been viral, PK stretching and like holding Mbappe's t-shirt. So of course he was past his prime, and I think he was clearly not able to start and win games for Barcelona, and
Yep.
being a squad player wasn't acceptable to him. So it was a shocker. He at least could have stayed till the end of the season, but he didn't. And all respect to him, because when you feel that you don't belong there, you just retire. So kudos to him.
Yeah, and that's
Uh,
what he did, which
yeah,
was very surprising. But I don't know, he figured something out within himself that I'm not playing the A game, which is required for Barcelona's team, and he did it by himself. No one even was saying him to retire. But yeah, a legendary. Uh, I think in the last podcast, Shubham, I could remember you saying one statement. I'm not quite sure about the statement. Could you please repeat that?
yeah. So I said that it was the last Champions League game for PK, and I said that this would be the last season for many legends or many Barca captains. So
Yeah,
Busquets, of course, we know that his contract is ending in June 2023. We talked a bit of PK that he should retire, and it should be a right. I mean, it should be a decision for him to just retire after the season.
yeah,
And I also
yeah,
talked about Jordi Alba. So two of the three players have decided to move on.
yeah,
It's a big deal for Barcelona because they have seen everything. They have, as we discussed, they have won everything and they have lost everything. So I
yeah.
mean, it has been a spectrum of emotions for them. Uh, so yeah, very, but
And
it was very emotional, as you said. I almost, it was very hard. It felt much harder than
mm,
it seemed, because we have been talking about this, like as you just mentioned, and I talked about the same thing in last episode. But when it came to watching him cry like that, it was really emotional.
yeah. One more important thing happened on in yesterday's match. Sergio Busquets, our captain. he gave his captain armband to Piqué for his last match.
Yeah.
Like, man, you owe our respect. Each and
Yeah.
every Barcelona fan was welcoming that gesture from Sergio Busquets. So
Indeed.
a really good gesture from him, and our all due respects to the outgoing legend. So let us start our podcast with, as usual, the lineups for this match. Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and Dembele were starting in the attacking field. Pedri, Busquets, and Frenkie De Jong were in our midfield. Jordi Alba, Alonso, Piqué, and Balde were in defense. And Marc-Andre ter Stegen was our goalkeeper for this match.
I was a bit surprised to see, Ferran Torres again on the left wing, because we have been talking about this, that
Yep.
Ferran Torres doesn't feel very comfortable on the left hand side. For at least he seemed much comfortable on the right hand side, but he looked as comfortable on the left hand side as well. I mean, the only thing this guy did not have yesterday was a clinical finish. Other than that, he was doing everything. He was
He
taking
had
runs.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very professional game from him. Very, very team
And
game.
when I saw him giving those crosses, man, I was literally a fan of Ferran Torres in yesterday's game. He gave ample amount of crosses. Some of them we were able to convert, and some of them we were not able to convert. But he gave his A+ game in yesterday's match. And Shubham, I think that's what we were talking about. That to boost his confidence and everything, we must start him in those small games against Cadiz, against Almeria,
Hmm.
and I'm happy to see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, past El Clasico, I think, of course, we lost against Real Madrid, but that was the only positive that came out of El Clasico. And since
Mm.
then, he has been, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but he is getting there.
Yeah,
Game by
he
game,
scored
he's
some
getting there.
goals. He
Yeah,
scored some goals. In yesterday's match, I saw him giving those crosses. So if this, how do you say, if this keeps on improving game by game, then by the end of this season, Ferran Torres would be a beast to watch.
yeah, indeed. Because, of course, we know that his, his positioning has been good.
Yeah, yeah,
There is like never a problem with that. Of course, he
mm,
was offside here and there, and I criticized him quite a lot on that as well. But I think that's lack of confidence, and when you get in the flow of confidence and game, and you understand what your teammates want to do, and you get on the right page or the same side of the page as your teammates, I think that happens.
yeah,
That automatically it's a process which needs time, of
mm,
course. And I
mm,
think right now we are bearing the fruits of what Xavi has been, selecting Ferran Torres for every single game. And kudos to him. Kudos to Xavi for not, constantly believing in Ferran Torres, because we didn't, or at
yeah,
least certainly I did not. I, I mean, I
yeah,
remember on that La Real podcast that we, did the preview of the El Clasico. I said that the only thing from Ferran Torres, at least the only expectation that I have from Ferran Torres is we loan him out. He has his confidence and we sell him. And I was
yeah.
I was very wrong. And I hope that Ferran Torres proves me wrong in every single game.
No, but Shubham,
And to be honest, I would be happily wrong, because if that's good for Barcelona, I would be happy to be wrong every single time.
yeah, but we all knew, like even you knew that he had that talent which needs to be a Barcelona player. The only thing missing from him was his confidence, which you and me were constantly saying that let's just loan him out. In that team, he'll gain his confidence of scoring, because after that prolonged injury, of course, each and every player dips down in confidence. Even we can see that with Ansu Fati, what's happening to him as well.
Yeah,
So he just need to regain his confidence, and I am quite sure that by the end of this season he gains his confidence. And kudos to Xavi for believing in Ferran Torres and believing in his own training and strategy, man.
yeah, indeed. So let's get started with the game. So 5 minutes in, very surprising decision, or the very surprising thing happened for Barcelona, is Barcelona got a penalty. Wow, first time this season. Impossible.
Yeah,
Lewandowski gets the ball. He actually gives the ball to Piqué, as a sign of respect, but Piqué rejects the ball, saying, indicating to Lewandowski that he should take it. Lewandowski, decides to take the penalty on the spot. A very awkward run from him, to be honest, and it seemed like like you feel very awkward when you look at such runs, and this is exactly what happened. His shot hits the post and just skews past it. Lewandowski misses the first penalty that he takes for Barcelona. Wow. A huge chance that could have easily driven Barcelona 1-0, missed. The problem I have with this penalty is, so I would just, sort of go back to the action of, the handball, or the reason that we got this penalty. I'm not sure who gave this cross. I think it was Dembele or Pedri. I don't know. And Ferran Torres actually was very close to the box, not the box, the goal post, and he sort of tried to head the ball towards the goal. And then the defender's hand was, I think somewhere, like, of course his hand was not connected to his body, so it was enlarging his body, extending his body. So the ball hit his hand, and then VAR told the referee that it's a goal. It's a penalty, sorry, my bad. It's a handball, penalty by handball. When we, go back in the Champions League game at San Siro versus Inter Milan, Pedri's goal was disregarded just because, there was no, I think not the goal. I think the penalty. That's something. I'm not sure. The penalty was disregarded because they said that according to the new rules, when the header of not the header, actually, when you force the ball towards opposition's hand, it's not a handball. So there it's not a handball, but here it's a handball. It's getting difficult and more complicated to understand these handball decisions, for me at least. Right now, whenever any handball happens, I have no opinion because I'm really scared of being wrong.
I think it depends on referee to referee, like how he perceives the rule to be. So, which is not fair, because if it's a written rule, you must follow some set of principles going behind the scenes for making that rule. But I don't know. It seems that the referees are confused in between them whether to give this a handball or whether to not give this a handball. So the rule needs to be a little bit more clearer, so that each and every time it's applied, it would be the same and not different than one another.
Indeed.
So yeah, that was in the 5th minute, I believe, right? The penalty scene happened just like in the first 10 minutes. So one interesting thing happened in 28th minute, Shubham. So Frenkie De Jong passed the ball to Piqué, which was intercepted by Almeria's number 7, Ramazani, and he was literally one-on-one with Ter Stegen, and this man literally saved that goal for Barcelona that day. And the goal line still remains 0-0, but one-on-one with Ter Stegen these times is not a good sign. So that just made me a little bit. I was in a shock when he took that interception, but the goal line remained 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big mistake by Frenkie De Jong, to be honest, to begin with. It was a long stretch. So he gave like almost like a grounded pass from like left side of the box to the right side of the box to Piqué, close to the center line. And it was, I think he even had Marcos Alonso on the closer. He could have chosen to give the ball to Marcos Alonso.
On the backside, something like that. He was not in the picture though.
Yeah, but Ter Stegen, wow. I mean, 11 clean sheets out of 13 games. He has only conceded versus Real Sociedad and Real Madrid. That's it. Big deal, man. Big deal. Only 4 goals conceded and 11 clean sheets. He is having amazing season. An amazing season. Just a minute later, actually, Barca had a corner chance. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure who took it, but it was Dembele. It was a short corner to.
It was short corner.
It was a short corner to.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was a short corner to Frenkie De Jong. Frenkie De Jong passes the ball inside. to Ferran Torres, who has like one of the most beautiful, grounded, clinical finishes that you can see, only to be saved by the keeper. The Almeria keeper has had a fantastic game,
Mm,
fantastic. I mean,
mm,
I
mm.
was seeing that probably. I mean, when I was thinking, or when actually we discussed his also about the TAB man of the match today, which we will discuss, of course, in the later segment, who gets it. But the Almeria goalkeeper was one of the prime nominees out of it, because even though we don't normally give it to the person who plays for another team, but man, wow, it was, except for what happened in the first goal, because Dembele's goal, what we will discuss, was majestic.
Well,
Uh,
sorry to cut you again, Shubham, but as we used to say that every keeper turns Manuel Neuer against Barcelona,
yeah, that
and
that
he
that
literally turned
happened.
Manuel Neuer in this game.
Indeed, indeed. So Ferran chance, it was a great chance. I mean, nine out of 10 times he would finish or bury those chances, but okay, hard luck this time. 10 minutes later, that shot, there was a brilliant play from Lewandowski. I think, I'm not sure what adjective I should use. Like, it was a Zlatan type of kick, uh, you know, passing. I don't know. I cannot explain it. It was too brilliant for me to, say it with words. He passed somehow the ball to Ferran, who I mean, I love this dribble. When the ball is at this level, you head it, sort of control it to the ground, because you remember that Messi's goal. I think he started the scoring in 2016, 2017 season with such a goal. I mean, I love these dribbles. Ferran Torres gets the ball, heads it, controls it, goes past it. I mean, I think it would have been easier for him to finish it, but he was more unselfish. He saw Dembele on the right running, just across him. He decides to give the ball to Dembele. Dembele goes with like a Superman kind of a header, just bursts the ball on the body of the goalkeeper. Man, how can that be 0-0? I couldn't understand. It was like, this half was like unbelievable. How can this half be 0-0?
So basically, first half was completely like this. We went to the dressing room 0-0, scorelines being 0-0. So many chances, so many finishing chances created by Barcelona, but the goal line was still 0-0.
Yeah,
Unless the 48th minute, and man, this goal, this Dembele dribble, you were praising Ferran Torres, but I would like to praise here Dembele, and it's his solo goal. Of course, Pedri gave the ball to Busquets, and Busquets just outside the Barca box gave the long ball to Dembele to make that goal possible, and for Dembele to run crossing number one, number two, number three players, just crossing inside the box, taking the ball to his left foot, shooting it majestically through the goalkeeper, and man, that was a goal.
yeah,
48 minute, Barcelona won, Almeria 0.
yeah,
Barcelona leading the game in 43rd minute.
yeah. I
That
mean,
dribble was amazing, out of the class.
yeah, that's a brilliant goal, and kudos to Busquets, for that long ball,
Yeah,
because it was
yeah,
it was it was like pitch perfect cross, like not cross, but like a lob, pitch perfect. I mean, the
yeah.
bounce, the weight on that ball, perfect, because it teased the Almeria left back like for us for half a second that, should I go for it, should I not, and he decided
Well,
not, and
that's the confusing
yeah,
situation
yeah,
for the defender as well. Like,
yeah,
should I
and
go for the ball or should I go for the player?
yeah, and then
Yeah,
Dembele, as you mentioned, I mean, I'm a bit surprised about this guy. Is like, this guy is still a mystery, man. He misses, the easiest goals possible, like sitters, but he finishes unbelievably beautiful and majestic goals. I mean, that
yes,
goal was so beautiful that the goalkeeper was even too stunned to even move. The the,
yeah,
the
yeah,
ball was,
yeah.
on point at the corner. Perfect finish. 100 points for Dembele.
So this was one of these statements, Shubham, which proves one statement about Dembele. When he makes the right decision, it's perfectly right. But when he makes a wrong decision, it's wrong. So this was one of those right decisions which he took to dribble the ball past three players. and shoot it to goal. That was one of his right decisions to make. And what a goal, man. Amazing, incredible, fantastic goal.
Yeah, but that's what we need to think, because if we are a serious club who wants actually to win Champions League, their best, or like one of the best players, who's playing for that club, shouldn't be too constantly categorized as the player who doesn't take right decisions often, because it's a dangerous sign. It's a
Yeah.
dangerous sign because
So that is,
against Almeria, it's okay if you miss sitters. But like we saw what happens against Bayern, Inter,
yeah. The fourth thing
Real
is that
Madrid.
these big clubs won't give you too many chances. And if you are not capitalizing on those chances,
Yeah,
it's basically an opportunity missed, right? So you
yeah,
have to capitalize, you have to convert those chances into goals. But
yeah,
that is what is the process of rebuilding is, right? And that is what makes the task difficult for Xavi to do as well. So it's
yeah.
combined effort from players and the managers, and I think, if I'm not wrong, we are going in right direction as of now.
Hmm. Yeah. 62 minutes in, Pedri from the middle sort of pedals the ball to Jordi Alba, who was on the left flank. He takes the ball, sees Ansu Fati is taking a run inside, curls the ball inside as a form of cross. Ansu Fati, I mean, you need to praise this man's positioning first of all, because he's like 18, 19 years of age. His finishing as well, because his finishing on the ball, the way he took that ball or the way he took that
Yeah.
shot was pitch perfect. Pitch perfect. It was just random point blank save from the keeper. So the ball just was rebounded, but Frenkie De Jong was there, right time, right place. His positioning, he knew, he had the understanding of the game, and he you know pounced on the ball with a volley, with a hammer, and drives the ball straight into the net. 2-0. Barca comfortable, cruising 2-0.
So this is what reminds me of one thing, Shubham. It's like uh, cam position uh, from Pep Guardiola's team. So basically, what cam position does is stay on their position. If someone misses, they gets the rebound and they shoots the ball towards the goal. And that's what happened, and he maintained that position beautifully with this goal, Frankie De Jong.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's what made us lead the game 2-0. Once again, here I want to praise one more player, Shubham, and the name is Jordi Alba. The way he crossed the ball in today's game, like he has his stretches. Like if he's in his bad patch, he won't cross the ball at all. He won't defend for you. But if he's in a good stretch, he would do all those things for you. He would defend the ball. He would take on those runs. He would cross the ball as well. So this player is one of the players which we were saying that should retire in one of the last podcasts. But yesterday's game was a good one for Jordi Alba as well.
yeah, yeah.
And one of the
Credits due. Credits, we have to give him credit where it's due.
yeah, of course. 83rd minute, one of the emotional moments for Barcelona fans again, where Piqué got substituted. And one of the good decisions here to substitute him, whereas we could see, if I'm not wrong, Christensen came in for Piqué
Yeah,
in the 83rd minute.
Christensen. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it was Christensen who came in. That means he is well and fit to play if Xavi is playing him in that game. So that's a good sign for Barcelona's defense that Christensen is finally back. But PK going to the dressing room was one of the emotional scenes at Barcelona in the 83rd minute.
yeah. Indeed. It was quite emotional, and as you said, it's Christensen is back, so yeah, I hope that he will start next week. And
Yeah.
Marcos Alonso, might just be on the bench.
Mm. So temporarily, Barcelona is on the top of the table, leading the table with 2 points. But Madrid have a game in their hand. So let's
Yeah,
see. Let's hope that Madrid drop some points in this game and we still be on the top of the table.
yeah. They will play Rayo Vallecano on Monday, so, and it's an
Hmm.
away game. So let's hope that Vallecano can do us a bit of favor, because even if they draw, we will be 1 point clear of
1 point
Madrid.
lead, yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next segment of today's podcast, which is TAB Man of the Match. And today's Man of the Match, it was actually very, very close, because many players had a good game. Of course, we have to mention Dembele, because who scored like a brilliant goal. Jordi Alba had a good game. Pedri had a good game. Lewandowski was not like, of course, he did not have a good game because he missed a penalty, but he was involved. He did not lose confidence, and he was involved in the process of
Well,
playmaking.
and how could you also miss Ferran Torres in the
No, of
list,
course,
man?
I'm not stopping. Yeah, Ferran Torres had a good game. Busquets had a good game. Piqué had a
Mm,
good game. Balde, Alba, Ter Stegen had a good game. With that
yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
stop. But I think today's man of the match is Frenkie De Jong. Frenkie De Jong just edges because of his goal, because of his understanding. He was taking those runs, outrunning players here and there, and he was very, very comfortable, with his burst. And I think he can be the perfect box to box player for Barcelona. I
Yeah,
mean, when you
yeah.
when you talked about that cam position, I think
Mm,
more of the thing, of course he can play that role, but he can even like run down those flanks to defend, to
yeah,
go back, to go deeper, to help like the center backs.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I was very, very impressed. And if the old De Jong gets back, we would have like a plethora of chances, because we have, of course, Busquets this season. We have Pedri, we have Frenkie De Jong, we will have Gavi, because who is in top notch form. Kessie is a bit down right now, but of course we are expecting him after the World Cup. So especially when we are competing for La Liga and Copa del Rey. I mean, Europa League, of course, it's a bit complicated because it's a knockout stage, so you never know.
mm,
But in the league, I'm very sure about our chances with all these players looking very, very comfortable.
yeah.
So, Aniket, let's move on to the next segment. So I will just ask you to move on with the next segment.
So the next segment would be TFB ratings. In this, as the name suggests, we would rate all the players, all the Barcelona players in this segment. So let's just start with our goalkeeper, Ter Stegen. He gets a score of 8 for his incredible save, one-on-one save. So that's why, and almost he had amazing game last night. So that's why he get a score of 8. Jordi Alba, so mostly all of our defenders start in the line of sevens. So
Yeah.
Alba, Alonso, Piqué, and Balde, everyone gets a score of 7. Pedri and Busquets gets a score of 7 and 7.5 respectively. Frenkie De Jong gets a score of 8.5 for his incredible goal. And whatever you said, he looked so comfortable on the ball yesterday. His positioning was best in the game.
Mm.
And we could see him running towards the ball for attacking, running down, helping the defense when he was asked to defend the ball.
Yeah.
Perfect game for Frenkie De Jong, 8.5. Dembele with that, how should I say, with that goal and with that header gets a combined score of 8. If he would have scored the header as well,
It would
probably
have
he
been
could have
9.
gone to a score of 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for now he gets a score of 8. Lewandowski gets a score of 7. Could be a bit more, but missing a penalty, not a good sign for great legend. 7 is I think good for him. And surprisingly, Ferran Torres scores uh, zero point 0.5 points more than Lewandowski in this game. It's 7.5 for Ferran Torres.
Mm.
Nice game for him. I hope he gains some confidence from this game, because his crossing skills, his positioning was A class in this game, and yeah, gets a score of 7.5.
Yeah. To be honest, I would like to see Ferran Torres as the replacement of, not a replacement, but as a backup to Lewandowski. I wouldn't start Ferran and Lewandowski together,
Uh,
because in that case, then who do you play when Lewandowski has to rest? So,
yeah, yeah, a good point to ponder upon, Shubham. Uh, he could definitely start that position. Yeah, now you have said that, I am also quite relating with what you're saying, that Ferran Torres has the capability to start as a striker.
Yeah.
It's just that
Or
he needs to be
or Ansu.
clinical on his finishing skills.
Yeah, Ansu Fati. I'm not sure. Like maybe he wants to play on the left wing. I don't know.
No, his
But
positioning we could not change Ansu Fati.
yeah.
He's still gaining that confidence after that injury. So let him play in his own position for now. It's just my personal thought. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. I could be right. I don't know yet. But he just
Mhm.
need to gain some confidence, and then we could start him in that position. So
Yeah. Indeed. So Aniket, thank you so much for your ratings. I mean the ratings are impeccable, and I hope that every single player, especially when it comes to defense, performs the same way as they did today. So let's move on to the next segment and the last segment of today's podcast, which is TFP penalty shootout. In this segment, we discuss about transfer rumors, administrative stuff which happens around Barcelona. So first of all, before going to the rumors, Robert Lewandowski has been named as October's La Liga Player of the Month. So congratulations, Robert, and I hope that you can win this award for every single month this season.
next positive news coming from Barcelona's dressing room or the training ground is that Koundé would be tested in tomorrow's training. If he feels good, he could enter the list of the players in the games against Osasuna.
Yeah. Youssoufa Moukoko, Dortmund's starlet, he's indeed on FC Barcelona's radar. The report suggests that striker could actually arrive on a free transfer in 2023.
One more positive news from Barcelona's dressing room. Our next defender, Ronald Araujo, has an option to go to the World Cup. The next 48 hours will be a key for making a decision. So the Uruguayan is feeling confident that he is back again.
Yeah, let's hope that he can go to World Cup, plays well for World Cup, and let's hope that he comes back in one piece.
Yeah,
And this applies to every single Barcelona player, by the way. Just come back in, don't okay. It's
without
we will
injuries.
we
Without
will we
injuries.
will we will accept you if you even if you don't come back with greater form, but just come back without any injuries.
Yeah.
Moving on, the coaching staff has asked the technical area to renew Marcos Alonso's contract. The reports are suggesting that it could be for 2 years.
As we talked about Marcos Alonso, let's talk about one of our current defenders. Hector Bellerin will not renew his contract at Barcelona. The coaching staff is quite disappointed with his performances.
Yeah, I would agree so. Especially his speed and his defense. I mean, nothing seems to be working out.
I
If
was
he's
actually quite sorry to disturb you. I was actually quite happy that we are getting one of La Masia's player back. But seeing his games in recent times, it does not feel good. It does not feel good after watching his games.
yeah, he makes Sergio Roberto look like a better
Yeah, better
right
option
back,
for Barcelona right now.
which is like which is messed up because Bellerin is actually a right back, so it's a bit messed
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And even Alonso, I think I wouldn't start him per se, but he is a good squad player. I would like him to sit on the bench. So giving him a contract for 2 years, I think it makes sense for me. I saw reports say, in general, within within the discussions of fans and journalists, people were quite disappointed with Marcos Alonso's extension. I rate him quite well. I mean, I wouldn't start him, as I said, but for example, right now, you see, when we don't have Koundé, Araujo, Eric Garcia, Christensen, Marcos Alonso could be a great centre back option, like left centre back.
yeah. I was actually going to talk about this one as well. When you said that we are going to extend his contract, I was a bit happy. He could play as the left back, but he could also play as a centre back if the need be. For now, we were not having any defenders, but he was the one who was defending in the centre back position.
Yeah.
So we could play him as centre back as well if we needed him to be in that position. So great squad player, as you said, and I would not mind Marcos Alonso being in the squad.
Indeed. Following the news that you talked about, Bellerin, Barcelona will Barcelona will make at least one signing in January, seemingly a right back, which is like the most necessary one right now.
Next news coming in: Pablo Gavi, Alejandro Balde, and Iñaki Peña will be given first team jersey numbers. Gavi would get his favorite number 6, Balde would be getting number 12, and Iñaki Peña is expected to get number 13.
The great news. It feels a bit weird to see them with jersey numbers 30 and 28, and yeah, it's good to. I mean, it would be a great feeling to see the jersey of Gavi with the number 6.
Yeah, indeed, of course.
So, following defensive recruitment, Barcelona will be after Iñigo Martinez in January, following Gerard Piqué's retirement. So, his contract with Athletic Bilbao is finishing in June 2023. So the report suggests that, of course, I mean, the Barcelona has an agreement with Iñigo Martinez in place, but they will try to talk to Athletic Bilbao for his arrival in January.
So, talking a little bit more about Gerard Piqué's retirement, it allows Barcelona to move ahead with Las Palmas starlet Alberto in January. Barcelona lead the race against Real Madrid to sign him. Ideally, Blaugrana want to sign this player in January and loan him out to his current club for the remainder of the season. So let's see how the deal goes. But PK's retirement would make this deal possible, and the one which you just said earlier.
Yeah, I also heard that PK's retirement will also make salary space for Bernardo Silva, and they have the money to do it. The report suggests that he would be very willing, more than willing, to join Barcelona this season. I mean, right now. Why, in the right mind, would a player who will be winning, of course, with all due respect to Arsenal, who is like 2 points ahead of Manchester City in the Premier League, who is almost certain to win the Premier League, and who has a great chance, I mean, if not the greatest, great chance to win Champions League, would want to join a club who is struggling in the league, who is knocked out of Champions League, and who might not even win Europa League. Why? And even if the player wants to join, why, as a club, do you want to recruit a player like this right now? We don't want. I mean, I am very disappointed. If I hope that these news reports are fake, or something exaggerated or made up. But I wouldn't be happy, because this is not the reason why we were happy that Laporta came up. This is Bartomeu stuff, man. This is Bartomeu stuff. Like, okay,
spending money on crazy.
Yeah, it's like
players.
you miss out on one league. What you do? You put money into another player. Put money into another player. This is not needed. Like, recruit smartly. And what we have discussed about Laporta and Alemany is like they have been investing smartly their money, and how brilliant their decisions were. And I just hope that this is a made-up news, and I hope that they don't sign Bernardo Silva in January. I would certainly be happy if they go for, like, Alberto Molero, or a right back, Iñigo Martinez, because we need these players. We don't need Bernardo Silva. As I just said, we have Pedri in form. We have Busquets, who is there for a season. We have Gavi in form. We have Frenkie De Jong coming in form. We have Kessie, of course, who will be back in a few.
So basically,
weeks.
we have almost 2 players for each position. So
indeed, in the midfield,
actually need what do you say, an additional midfielder. Yes, defender. Of course, we need someone on the right back, which is a correct decision to make. But I don't know if we do need a midfielder at current point of time. I'm not happy with that.
Exactly. So I hope that it is a fake news.
Yeah.
Moving on, the last point of today's podcast is so when this episode will be out, I think whatever suggestions will be wouldn't matter a lot. but still, we are recording this before the draw of Europa League, so we will discuss this. So, Aniket, possible FC Barcelona rivals for the Europa League are as following: Manchester United, AS Roma, AS Monaco, Midtjylland, FC Nantes, Stade Rennais, PSV, Union Berlin. So it's a long list. There's some surprising names, some acceptable names. So which team you did, or like which teams would be ideal for Barcelona? Like one of the which teams would you like to be paired with
So
Barcelona?
any team would be good except some of these teams which I'm going to name. I don't want Manchester United. Well, I'm not. Manchester United is okay. I'm okay to play against Manchester United, but for definitely I don't want AS Roma. Definitely I don't want PSV. Uh, and one of the teams to watch out in this group is Union Berlin. It has been one of the great teams in Bundesliga as of now. So these three teams are the ones to watch against. But
Mhm.
let's see what does the draw looks like for Barcelona.
Yeah, indeed. I would certainly agree with you. I don't want Manchester United because you never know. So you don't want to be paired with a club who has a history, because
Yeah,
history plays an important role. It doesn't matter
yeah.
what's your form. Suddenly you can wake up and you can feel the fiery lion inside you. So I don't want them to be waking up against us. Especially they
Yeah.
have Ronaldo. I mean, of course, he's not having a great season, but you never know these players, man.
So
These
he's a
players,
great player.
yeah,
You
he's a
would
great
never
player, and
know
you
when
never
he's coming
know when
back.
he clicks. And he
Yeah,
has performed quite a lot
against
amazingly against
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
don't want him to
you,
wake up.
you, yeah.
So, and
You just
Roma,
see that shot, and it something happens to you in your brain. You are done.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't want Roma as well, because I think the bruises are still in the flesh. They are not
Yeah,
completely healed. What
yeah.
happened against Roma 4-0? Yeah, I think it's too soon even to talk about it. Union Berlin, of course, I would agree. Yeah, Berlin. I've seen Berlin. I've seen the fans of Union Berlin. Uh,
I
Man,
think
it's
you went to one of the fixtures, Bayern versus Berlin, right? If
no,
I'm
no, it
not
was
wrong.
Bayern versus Köln.
Oh, okay,
But
okay. Yeah.
I was in Berlin for an interview, and I saw like I think it was not Union Berlin. I think it was another club from Berlin, or
It
it
was
was Union
FC
Berlin.
Cole. If
No, no, FC Köln. Yeah, that was in Köln. I went to see the match, but I was
yeah.
in Berlin for an interview in
Hmm.
2019, and I remember Dortmund was like visiting. I think it was Union Berlin, or Union Berlin was not in Bundesliga back then. It was like in second division or something. There was another club from Bundesliga from Berlin, and when I've
Hmm.
seen Berlin fans, they are like, they're not nice people. Just to mention. So I wouldn't want them to rally in Camp Nou. What happened against Frankfurt and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we haven't had like a great experience against German teams recently.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
wouldn't want to go there as well. So the perfect for me personally, the perfect draw would be Nantes, because Nantes is very close to my place, so I can actually go to Nantes, man. I would like to, because
I,
I watched Europa League last season at Camp Nou versus Galatasaray, and it was like a 0-0 game. But I would love to go to Nantes and would love to see Lewandowski scoring those goals, those bangers.
I'll pray that we get this team so that you could just go and watch the match.
I just hope, man. I just wish. Yeah. So, Aniket, I think that's it for today. We have one last game before the World Cup. Barcelona will play Osasuna on 8th of November. Osasuna are
Mm.
currently, I think, fifth in the La Liga table, so they have been doing quite well. So I hope that there is no hiccup before the World Cup. We march comfortably in the La Liga, and I hope that Real Madrid drops points tomorrow, and I
Mm.
hope that Barcelona get non tomorrow. So we would update on everything very, very soon. So to all the people who are listening to us on Spotify or like any platform, any audio platforms, remember to subscribe to us, to follow us, to share our video with our podcast with your friends. In general, we are available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Ghana for Indian listeners and people who are watching us on YouTube. Please subscribe to our content. We are a new podcast, so we really need your support. Please comment on the videos, what you like, what you don't like. If you want us to talk about some specifics, it's okay. Even if your questions or your demands are not related to Barcelona, we follow football in general, so we would be happy to discuss about anything what you want. And just like our videos, uh, and you can also follow our private social media accounts as well. We are generally football people in general. So I think Aniket, any last words?
Only last words: like, share, comment, subscribe. And for more details, visit our Instagram account. It's TFB underscore POD. You will get the latest updates of the fixtures against Barcelona in Europa League. And for some more details, just visit our Twitter channel and our Instagram handle as well. Like, share, comment, subscribe for Sabasa.
For Sabasa. So Aniket, have a great time in Toronto. This is quite doable, man. I really like our time difference of 6 hours, but you'll
Yeah,
be back soon to the west part of Canada. So then we will have to see again with 9 hour. Anyway, bye bye
no
and
worries.
good night to everyone.
For Sabasa. Good night.
For Sabasa.
Barça!